Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Randall Via, and I'm currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder in Red Onion State Prison in the Pound of Virginia in the USA. This is my podcast, Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoy listening to me today. Today, I'm going to talk about an incident that I had last week. It was a very intense, very emotional incident for me. A lot of stuff came to head, a lot of old feelings, a lot of old frustrations and anger and rage. I've been charge-free going on 17 years. I haven't committed an act of violence in almost 17 years. The last time was April 28th of 2006. And I came as close to doing that as I've ever come. See, we went on lockdown and for several weeks. And while we was on lockdown, they passed out the brand new JP6 tablet. So I finally get a tablet after 1 year of waiting. And when I get the tablet, for the first day it works. And then, so they did something cool up here, which is kind of surprising for Red Onion. But it was smart at the same time. They started letting guys out one cell at a time, even though we were still on lockdown, to come down to the kiosk and sync your player up to the kiosk and download some emails and pictures and some video games and music, just whatever you can manage to get in 20-minute time. So, of course, you had some guys take advantage of that, and, which I got frustrated over that because I hate unfairness. You ain't better than nobody else. Get your 20 minutes and get your ass back in the cell. You're going to keep guys from, other guys from getting on there because you want to take extra time. So I was a little frustrated by that. I was frustrated by the fact that on the day that they was passing out the players, they came in and they shook the cell down. And the CEO, he broke my headphones. See, I got a pair of clear plastic headphones called Skull Candies. They're actually really good headphones. But they've got the cushions on the ears. They're the big ones that cover your whole ear. And they're factory glued to the damn headphones. And you can see in the back of them, because the back of them is clear, so you can clearly see that there's nothing behind the speaker, that I'm hiding nothing. But yet the dude ripped my ear pads off. So now I have to find a way of somehow attaching them back to my headphones, or I got to waste $40 of money I've saved up, and I've kind of got earmarked for other things to buy a new pair of headphones. So I'm freaking pissed about that. But as soon as they were done shaking me down, and I started to put the cell back together, I'm calming myself down. Okay, it is what it is, man. Let's just deal with it. So then they called me over to medical. So as I'm leaving, they're pushing the carts in with all the brand new players. I have to go to medical because the tumor in my right tibia has started hurting again. It started acting up, so I wanted to go over there and talk to them again and get lied to, basically. So when I get over there, I'm expecting them to put me. They've got 4 little clear plexiglass cages in the front of the medical department, and normally that's where I go in, and it'd take maybe 15 to 30 minutes, and I'm out of medical. Well, this time, the dude is working over there. It ain't never worked over there before. He puts me in the cell all the way in the back of medical, one of the medical cells, for guys to say, you break your leg and you got a cast on your leg. Well, you can't be in population with a cast on your leg because it just puts you at a severe disadvantage. Especially if some stuff jumps off in there. Dudes in here will absolutely take advantage of you if you're hurt and injured like that. So I was back there, and the bed, the bunk, was covered in dried blood. The toilet was covered in piss, where, CEOs will go in there and just take a piss, and it splashes all over the place, and they don't wipe it up, they don't clean it up or nothing. The floor was filthy. So I don't have no place to sit. My damn leg was throbbing, and it was basically killing me. And I just kept getting madder and madder because I have to keep waiting and waiting and waiting. And I knew what they was doing. They put me in the back, and then they brought other people over, and they filled up the little front cages. So while I was in the back waiting, they just kept pulling those guys and just bringing new guys over and cycling them all through. And I was going to wait over there 7 or 8 hours in that damn cell before I finally got a chance to see Dr. Fox. So Around 2.5 hours, like I can't stand it no more. My leg is just in so much pain. There's no place to sit. I'm not going to ruin my clothes because I only have 2 pair of pants. I'm supposed to have 4, but you can't get a damn thing from the laundry up here because you turn in request form after request form to get new stuff, but the gang members don't fill it because they're selling it to rival gang members or other guys, or they're giving it to their homeboys, and can't nobody else like me get a damn thing. So I'm forced to buy laundry from the commissary, and that stuff's freaking expensive. So I get tired of it. I hit the button. So they come back. Oh, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm like, man, send me back to the building. Like, I'm done. Send me back to the. Oh, well, it's only about 2 more hours. Man, I ain't waiting 5 more minutes. Send me back to the building. So they bring me paperwork, and I sign it saying I refuse medical treatment. Which is something I did not want to do because, this is, man, damn leg hurts. I don't know if y'all have ever had a tumor literally growing half in the bone, half outside the bone. But it hurts like hell. So I finally, and plus I was stressing out over the tablet because, man, it's not going to take that long to pass the tablets out because I'm in a small pod. There's only like 30-some guys in here, like 32 guys in here. So, yeah, I'm not going to get my tablet, and it's going to take me months to get another tablet. They're going to say, well, you wasn't in the pod. I know how these people are. They're lazy as hell. But thankfully, thank God, I finally managed to get out of medical. The dude, C.O. Brown, he comes back, and I holler at him, and he takes pity on me, and he sends me back to the building. So I barely make it through the door. They're just finishing up the last person and getting ready to pack their stuff up and get out the pod. So I turn the paperwork in, and I finally get a tablet. When I get the tablet, like I said, it worked. The first time I got it, it was kind of frozen. And, it was just so slow and it didn't work. But I was able to reboot it and reset the settings on it. That made it start to work. But I had told him, yo, look, dude, this player's messed up. Oh, no, you just got to sync it a couple times. It'll work. All right, fine. So I finally make it out to sync my player up. And it's on Saturday night. The very next day, I get 5 minutes at night. Everybody else got 20 minutes, but I only get 5 minutes. So I'm frustrated by that. The player worked Saturday night, and I actually managed to type up a couple of emails, which I was so happy about. Oh, damn, man, it feels so good to write an email on your tablet in the cell. You don't have dudes standing behind you, breathing over your neck, reading your email while they wait their turn to use the kiosk. And then, so the next morning, I get out again. And, I download as many emails and pictures, and, I download my games, and, I try to get as many songs as I can. I don't really care about the songs. So when I get back to the cell, this thing pops up, and it's got this little circle. I guess it's buffering or whatever it is. I'm not really 100% sure what it's called. And it does that, and it says applying packaging updates. And it does that all day long. It just does it over and over and over and over again. And I've had this happen to me before in 2019 when I came back up here to Red Onion from a medical trip to Sussex 1 dealing with my leg, which I've been dealing with since 2017. So it happened, and basically the only thing I could do was just let the battery run completely dead and then, recharge it. And once it recharged, my player started working normally again. So that's basically what I had to do. I had no choice because I had actually turned my player off while, 5 or 6 hours later, I turned it off saying, okay, well, maybe it's just stuck. And then I turned it back on, and then as soon as it turned it back on, it popped up and started doing the same thing. I was like, yep, it's the same. So I let my battery run completely dead overnight and everything, and the next morning I get up and I charge it and whatnot while I do my morning prayers and my Bible study and everything. And then afterwards, I unplug it off the charger and I open it up and I look at it. Now, a bunch of my apps, I've got like 60 apps on my player. Most of them are video games because I like the games because, it helps pass the time in there when I don't really have nothing to do or I just can't focus or concentrate on anything, productive. And I go to touch my email app because I want to write a bunch of emails because, I'm behind in my emails and, unfortunately, I've been put in a position where I'm forced to neglect some of my friendships, and I freaking hate that. Like, it annoys the crap out of me. You know, because I'm afraid I'm going to lose some of my friends. Like, that's a big fear for me. Like, I don't like it. It's a wrong feeling to lose somebody out of your life. Now, I know that stuff happens, and it is what it is, but, you know, I still have serious abandonment issues from when I was a child. So, you know, it tends to affect me, you know, in a more negative way than it affects people on the street who are kind of used to it, and it's par for the course. Hey, man, friends drift apart. I don't like that. I don't accept that, and I'm going to fight against it to the best of my damn ability. Now, the email app is frozen. My picture gallery is frozen. The music is frozen. Hell, even the help button is frozen. Like, all of it is frozen except for a couple of games. You know, is frozen. And, you know, which, I mean, I'm damn grateful. At least a couple of the games works. At least I've had a little something to do with my player while I'm waiting. And, you know, but this isn't part of the story, but I'm going to give you an update anyway. I finally got sent a support ticket to JPay. They responded, and sometime this upcoming week, they're going to reset my player through the kiosk back to factory settings and strip everything off of it and delete everything, and then I'll resync it and start all over again. Hopefully this time it works. If not, they're going to send me a new player. So at least I got that. So, I mean, I was frustrated about all of that. I was frustrated with the way dudes were doing and so on and so forth. And then when it comes time for us to get off of lockdown, one of the guys over in A building, I don't know who it was. I'm not 100% sure on exactly the details of it, but evidently one guy didn't want to lock back in the cell. He wanted to stay out and, you know, use the phone and the kiosk as many times as his little heart pleased. CO walked in there and told him, man, look, dude, you got to lock down, man. Other people are trying to get out here. You know, the CO was respectful and whatnot for the most part until he was no longer respectful. So, look, man, get your hands back in the cell. I'm going to confiscate your player and your headphones and lock your ass up and seg. So dude punched the CO in the mouth. And, you know, maybe he got off on the CO. I don't know. You know, some of these COs can fight. Most of them can't. But one thing was sure and two things was certain. When the rest of the CO showed up, old boy got his ass beat. That's prison. I don't care where you go, what country you're in, how civilized you are. That's the way it is in prison, and you're going to have to wear that. So we stay on lockdown a lot longer than we normally do. We stay on for a bunch of extra days, and then when they finally let us off after that incident, we only come out for 1 hour a day. They keep us on modified rec. And everybody's fighting over the kiosk and this and that and so on and so forth. So several days go by on that. And then, you know, my shift works. You got an A break and you got a B break up here. I work on A break and you got other guys that works on B break. Well, they lock us down after 1 hour of rec, and then afterwards they were going to let the housemen out to clean. So it would have been me, this dude named Ant, and this dude named Dennis. So I was coming out, and Ant was already out because he stayed out after pod rec because the top tier came out for pod rec last, and me and Dennis came out for pod rec first because we're on the bottom tier. So Dennis starts cussing, blah, 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 blah. So I hollered at Ant, like, yo, what, man? Has he got something he's got to do? So Ant's like, he asked Dennis, yo, man, Chris wants to know you got something you got to do. I'm like, yeah, man, I got to download my music. So I waved him on him, like, I'm going to go ahead and just let him out, man, and tell him I'll stay in the cell. I'm not worried about it. You know, even though I wanted to come out at that time and send a support ticket to JPay saying, hey, my tablet's messed up, I need a new one, you know, let dude go ahead and get it, man. So I have been good to this dude since he come into this pod. I was in the pod first and he came in afterwards. I have given this dude, I don't know how much commissary I have helped him out. I mean, I have done so much for this dude. I like Dennis. I still like Dennis. I just don't respect him as much as I used to. So when I stepped back and let him come out, he comes straight to my door and screams on me. I mean, this dude literally screams on me behind the damn door. I don't want you helping me in my job no more. You go do your job. You stay away from me, blah, blah, blah. I don't say anything. I bite my tongue. I hold my emotions in. But I'm upset. Like, you don't scream at me. You do not raise your voice to me. I'm a grown-ass man, and you will treat me as such. Point blank, period. I don't give a damn who you are. I don't give a damn who you think you are. I know who I am. You will not scream at me. I control myself. my mind kind of slightly wants to go sideways on me, but I say, no, man, just let it go. So I go over in the bed and I lay down and I do my best to control myself. And it works. You know, I've gotten a lot better. And, but time goes by and it's just eating at me. It's eating at my mind. It's eating at my mind. It's eating at my emotions. People, I'm telling you right now, when God called me and I accepted, when I looked in that mirror and I saw myself for what I was, and I started changing, and I started growing up, I started maturing, I started controlling my emotions so my emotions don't control me. When I started to learn and just to be a better person in general, I have been forced to eat so much crow. I have been forced to eat crow until I throw up from eating crow, and then I'm forced to eat more crow in here. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Most of these guys in here, all they've ever seen is the Jesus in me. They've never seen the devil in me, and they do not want to. That boy came close to seeing the devil in me that day, because as I was laying in that bed, I just started getting madder and madder. I was fighting it. I was doing my best. And it got to the point where I wanted to do, like I was craving the urge to do something. Like I started to shake, and I was like, no, I can't do this. So I got up, and I got on my knees on the concrete floor, and I bowed my head to the floor. And I started praising and worshiping God. So as I'm praying, and I'm doing my best to praise God, I know for a fact God allowed me to be tested, because I went from worshiping and praising God to just enraged. I mean, full-blown rage. Like, I mean, I was seeing red. I stood up, and I mean, I was shaking so hard. I was so mad. Like, I mean, I had to squeeze every muscle in my body. And I mean, I was squeezing it so hard trying to control myself. I am surprised that the contraction of my muscles did not snap bones in my body. I was that mad. And I started to pace, and I was breathing all heavily. I mean, I got tears in my eyes. I mean, I'm snorting like a damn bull pawing at the ground. And I mean, I'm pacing back and forth, and I'm normally in this situation, my mind would have just been into a really dark, evil place. Like, I'm going to beat this dude, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But this is the amazing thing. None of those thoughts entered my mind. I was just fighting the rage. I know for a fact that God allowed Satan to test me, to put that on my heart, to see, what am I going to do? Am I going to control myself? Have I really, truly grown these last couple of months, these last couple of years? So it takes me like maybe 10 minutes of pacing back and forth for me to kind of calm down and breathe it out and kind of work it out and control myself. But I do that, and afterwards, oh my God, I felt so freaking amazing. Like, it was such a huge release. Like, I guess the fact that I was squeezing my muscles so hard, and I was enraged, and like, I mean, just, I don't know, man, like, it felt so cathartic. It felt so. No, I don't recommend you go trying this, work yourself up into a fit. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying, like, for me, it was therapeutic. For me, like, it really got a lot of stuff off of my chest that I had been feeling for so long, because it is not easy to be humble, people. It's not easy to be humble around humble people. It really ain't easy to be humble in here. So many people in here do their best to take advantage of my Christianity, to take advantage of the fact that I'm a changed man. And they get away with a lot of stuff they wouldn't get away with anybody else. They get away with a lot of stuff that I never would have let them get away with, 20 years ago. And the thing is, though, like, I look at this situation as a positive thing. I know some people might see it a little bit different. Like, wait a minute, dude, you were shaking so hard you had to squeeze your muscles and your damn bones almost broke. Like, that's not healthy, but it's about control. And that's the beautiful thing about what I went through. All of that frustration and everything, all of the crow, I don't know how many times I've had to bitch up and just walk away from a situation. I had to bitch up and let a situation die instead of pushing it to its full conclusion, kind of how I want to, like I was raised to do and trained to do in prison and in juvenile and so on and so forth. Like I've had to let a lot of stuff go. But that's the spiritual growth that I've gone through. Like I've gotten to the point now where, look, let me tell you something. If I could get that mad and do nothing, because it wasn't that much longer that they let me out of that cell and I was out here with that dude. I could have easily, because there was, when we clean, the housemen are in the pot by ourselves. The CO goes and opens that back closet up, and then they go out and sit in the office and watch YouTube videos. And the inmates are in here by ourselves cleaning and doing whatever. I could have easily said, hey, man, let me holler at you in this closet, man. Or just waited till he went in there and then walked in there and let that door close behind me, and I could have done something. But I was able to control myself. Like, that's amazing to me. Like, that's a beautiful thing to me. Like, I take pride in that. Like, I'm happy with myself. I'm glad that I went through that because it shows that, hey, I can. Look, I've gotten mad before, and I've told a couple of stories on here about that. I cannot remember the last time I've been this enraged. And I controlled it. You know, like nothing bad came of that situation. Only good came from that situation. Because when I was done, you know, I realized that God was with me that whole time. Like, he had me that whole time. He kept from being pushed over the edge. Yes, he allowed me to be tested. He allowed me to go through it, and I passed that test. And that makes me so happy. And people, if I can do it, y'all can do it. Y'all are better than me. Meeting my friends and just building with my friends and developing relationships with them and learning from them, I truly and genuinely realize that you people out there are a lot better than me. And you always will be. And that's not some false humility. Simple statement of fact. You're better than me. So if I can do it, y'all can do this. You know, take that time to focus on the good. See, I could have just, when I got mad and I jumped up out that bed, I could have focused on nothing but negative. But I forced myself to get on my knees and bow before God and start praising him and thanking him for my friends. Thanking him for good people. Thanking him for positive influences. If I can do this, so can y'all. That's what I want y'all to take from this. Don't never quit. Don't never give up on yourself. Continue to fight the good fight. Because you can and you will overcome with practice and training and discipline and commitment. Believe in yourself, because I've learned how to believe in myself. And it makes a world of difference, because when you start to believe in yourself, that's when God will start believing in you. That's when your friends and family and other people will start believing in you, because you reap what you sow. Sow belief in yourself, and you'll reap and harvest belief in yourself. This has been Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoyed listening to me today. Don't forget to check out my website, redonionrandy.com. I'm also on Twitter now, @RedOnionRandy. Take care. Stay safe. Y'all have a good one out there.
Thank you for using GTL.